What's up, Mystic Manifesting family? Nick with Mystic Manifesting here. And now I'm almost 100% sure that this might be too low. I don't know. We got the merch on. Or maybe I just need to do more push ups that make it lift with my boobs. All right, off topic. But hey, that's a good way to segue us into where we're going. Always pay attention to your thoughts because your thoughts create whether you want them to or not. This is just the fact of it. You can create things you don't want, which more often than times we create things we don't want because we assume this is just the reality of things. That's how they work out. It's worked out like this before, so why wouldn't it work out like that again? And we get doomed to repeat the cycle because we're afraid of changing our thoughts that we might sound crazy, that we might sound delusional or toxically positive or whatever fucking term people want to throw at us. They might say that. So this fear of the they out there, instead of us securing ourselves by making ourselves feel good and stop ourselves from thinking negatively. By changing your thoughts from negative to positive, what do you have to lose? You don't have a goddamn thing to lose, but everything to gain. You could just calm yourself down and feel happy with what you have and what you know you're going to get, and just keep yourself in a positive state all the time. But I'll give you even a quick success story. It's a bad success story, but I have a viewer who brought this up, and a close friend of mine. She said she has not had dandruff since she was a kid. She had Head and Shoulders in her bathtub for some reason. She said she decided to use it because she was all out of her regular shampoo. And she said, well, this will just give me a more moist scalp or whatever. But she said, what if I do need it or whatever? She had like a thought about maybe she does need it and how she would look with dandruff. And then she said as she was going to sleep, she couldn't shake it, like thinking about herself with dandruff. And the next morning she woke up, boom, dandruff. But she hasn't had it since she's a kid. And why, if you're using the one product that's supposed to prevent it, do you wake up with it the next day? You assumed and feared, oh, that would look bad and stuff like this. So there it is. And I actually had the same thing too with dandruff. So um, maybe it's just because I believe that if I use Head and Shoulders, I'm fine. But I ran out of it a couple months ago, and I've been using Dollar Store brand because they don't have it at the dollar store where I buy my shampoos. And I'm like, why do I have it all the time? Oh, it's because I need Head and Shoulders. And then whenever I use it, it's gone the next day. So it's two opposite things. She used it and then got it, and I use it and it goes away. And I don't know, maybe this the brand of shampoo works that way, but I'm just telling you from a manifesting point of view. This is a small little example that sparked the conversation because little things like that, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, right? These are just little examples. Those little success stories, I guess you could call them, because everything's working out in our favor, created the topic for this video. I'll tell you today. You guys know I get my meals prepped for me. Well, it's like a long ride for me to go pick up these meals. It's about an hour to get there, but I went straight from work because of the vacation and stuff. It took me almost 2 hours to get to the meals. Call the guy, no answer. Text him, no answer. And at this point, I'm about to bust. I had to pee after this long ride. So I find a Dunkin' Donuts like 5, 10 minutes away. Drive over there, get a snack, go pee, still waiting, no answer. Call him, his phone's off. And I'm like, okay, I'll wait over here a little bit. Whatever, nothing happens. As I'm driving back, I'm like, man, this fucking sucks. How's this working out in my favor? I'm like, maybe. He's gonna be like, don't worry about it. I got you. You know that's my fault. Meals are on the house this week, and I'll come bring them to you. And I said, maybe that thought just calmed me down. I'm like, would that calm me down if I experienced that? And said, yeah, that would make me, it was a good business practice, and that would make me feel good, and not like I wasted the trip. And I'm listening to a new audiobook, and I'm like, well, I started looking for the positives. I got to hear more of my audiobook with no interruptions instead of listening to it at work. I had no interruptions because I heard it while driving. It was a nice day out. It was like a nice 80-degree day with a breeze, the windows down, and the AC going because I was just feeling abundant with the money. Like driving AC and the windows down, having a coffee. Didn't become uncomfortable till I had to pee. So I started looking. I'm like, there's a lot more positives than negatives. And then the guy calls me, and I like hanging out with people. I've been saying this affirmation too, that I want to have more like-minded people to hang out with in my life. I said I had a good group of friends before, or a decent group, but it was like too negative for me, and I left that group behind. I haven't really had a good core group of friends because the whole SP journey started after that. I'm like, I would like more friends with more stuff in common with me, like business minded, um, doing interesting things, traveling, stuff like that. This guy's into all that, but he's also intrigued by cigars, but hasn't really gotten into them. He asked me for some advice before. But while we're on the phone and he's apologizing, I'm like, don't worry, I run a business too. I know how it is. It can be stressful. Clients and stuff. We're both on a client based thing. We wind up talking. And I said, bro, I'm like, thanks for hooking me up. I got you a cigar on me tomorrow. Meet up and we'll have a chat. So me and him are going to go for cigars. And it's like you form a closer relationship with someone to become friends where it's like, okay, now I got another friend who's like minded. And it's like all of that because something didn't work out in my favor, quote unquote. But I changed the way I looked at things. I said, how is it working out in my favor? And I just stayed happy and positive the whole time instead of like, yeah, well, you better send it over. Yes, yeah, this should never happen again. You need to come up with a better system instead of freaking out and being like, wow, I was inconvenienced 3 hours. It did turn out to be like 3 hours by the time it was all done. I'm like, instead of that, it's like, no, I had a good time. I got to enjoy the weather, hear my audiobook, get my coffee, and then become closer with someone who's been like a really close acquaintance, but now like become more of a friend and get my meals for free. It's like, what more could you ask for? And then after that, it's like I had a client book, and I was like, and he booked the month worth of coaching. So it's like, wow, that's a good amount of money that I just made there. There was no reason to be sad. Things are working out in my favor. Now the hard part is when things are really bad in your face to change your thought process on this. That's the struggle. Like you're going about your day, you're flipping your thoughts like that, but then you find out there's a third party involved with SP and your whole world just crumbled and you got punched in the gut. Now, one of the things I try to remember when I'm doing the coaching now from someone who's on the other side of this, it's like when you're an apprentice and you're learning how to do a trade, and then the older guys who are younger, or the journeymen who are younger, they're more sympathetic because they just came from your position. Well, because I just left that position, I try to keep myself in that state where I can relate with you guys. I know finding out something like that's a gut punch. You feel all hope is lost. What are you going to do? How do you stay positive? How do you forgive? What happens now? Well, think about your thought process when that happens. When something really bad happens, you start looking for reasons to make it worse. It's like you found out SP as a third party. Well, that's because I'm ugly, and this guy is probably like this, or this girl's like that, and that's why they chose them. And you start beating yourself up now, and you're tearing yourself down. You're adding to reasons. You're basically doing ask formations for why they should be with that other person, and that's just for that. Or it's like in terms of money, you get burned on a money deal. Like I've had people owe me money and then burn me, and it's like instead of going like, hey, this was something I've struggled with in the past too that I'm still kind of working on. It's like, okay, if you get burned on a deal that involves money, instead of going like, well, I always get burned on money and it's happened again. I should have knew the difference. It's like, no, you know what? You learned a lesson, and you know what? You're a good person for letting it happen. And if that money, if it cripples you to like, yeah, it's storming out there. If it cripples you to need that money, um, it's like you still look for ways to say, you know what, God is my infinite supply. I'm going to get more money. Everything works out in my favor, and you know exactly what you need. And you just start telling yourself you're going to get it. Things will fall into place. But don't curse the event. Don't look for reasons to make the event worse, because when you do, you are feeding that mental diet. This is like a video on another like reminder of mental diet to always keep flipping your thoughts. Your awareness, if you're aware that you get ripped off all the time, if you're aware that the third party may or may not be better than you, which they're not, but you put that scene in the head that, oh yeah, they're better than me. Or if something's not working out in your favor, you put that in your head. You man, it's really coming down. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I got the windows open. I'm trying to hurry up. This is working out in my favor too. It's gonna make the video more interesting. Um, the whole point is you have to watch where your thoughts are going at all times of the day. And I know it sucks, but eventually you get better at it. And it's exhausting. I'm not gonna lie, it's exhausting at first. It's exhausting when the major look at that. Everything's working out in my favor. It stopped already. It's exhausting when it's something major hits you and you put all this weight on it, and you get. Good news is the reason it's a big manifestation or a small manifestation, the reason why it's more important now than to someone else, or it's more important to you than to someone else, is because you gave it that meaning. So if you could give something this high meaning, that if it's make or break me, if you could give something that meaning, you could also take that meaning away. If somebody does something and it bothers you or it hurts you, and then you get angry and you're riled up by it, it's a little lesson in forgiveness. I'm gonna do a video on this too. But if you're riled up by something someone else does, guess who has control of your life and your mind? Them, not you. Whose life is it? Whose one life and one go around at life is this? Yours, but you're going to give it to them because you're angry and you feel like a sense of power in the anger, but really being angry and blaming is taking away your power. It's taking away your strength. It's almost like when you're getting like people who get involved with TV and news and stuff like that and drama, it's what what does that particular event you're getting upset over, that politician you're getting upset over, that scenario you're getting upset over, that news article, that controversial thing, whatever. I don't even know. I actually literally don't even know the story, but I've seen memes. But whatever's going on with Drake right now, the last thing I heard about Drake was he was spinning his thing around. So I don't know, like because that's how far I remove myself from it. I try to stay off social media, but I'm saying if you get involved in all that, how does that benefit your life? You getting riled up or choosing a side on that particular event does zero for you, and it removes power that you could be using to sit down and meditate and see how to make your life better, find your passions, visualize end scenes for yourself, think about lovely good things, but instead you're riled up in this imaginary world of someone else's story, which has no impact on your life. Same thing when and the third party might feel more close to you because it's your SP involved in that. But putting so much attention on them and who they are and that situation and that relationship, putting so much attention on that, that's none of your business and it doesn't serve you. Putting attention on yourself, everything changes when you change yourself. And it's a cliche, and you're going to hate to hear it, and you're going to hate to say hear self concept, but from someone who has been through the mud and the rain, there we go. That's how we tie the rain in. The mud and the rain and the dark times. It starts with you in here and in your belief system and with yourself. When you change, the world changes. When you change the way you see the world, the way the world treats you changes. And I've dragged this on I think long enough, but watch your mind, watch your awareness. Everything is working out in your favor if you choose it. But if everything is coming to get you, then everything will be out to get you. If you're afraid, the world will give you more reason to be afraid. If you're thankful, the world will give you more things to be thankful for. It's that simple. Watch your thoughts. If you want something, give thanks and pray. Pray as though you have already received it, and it shall be yours. All right? So watch your thoughts, guys. You can't fuck this up, and it is all working out in your favor. I love you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.